This is Fountain Street Church here. See that?
Fountain Street Church.
Yeah, for your birthday card. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah. What a wonderful woman.
Oh, honey.
I love you.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Did Adrian's art follow a pattern? He drew cartoons on Sunday and mechanical drawings Monday through Friday night with the TV on. Adrian claimed there were principles in his art, principles which can be found in his life. Let's start with unity. Adrian's gratitude was his unity, his gratitude for Kathleen and his friends, and his gratitude for surviving the war.
All the while, this tremendous barrage of gunfires going on. Our side is shooting and shooting everything, just laying down lead all over the place, just over our heads. I stepped over 2 or 3 dead Germans, and one guy, he was groaning and laying there, and one of our guys walked up to him and hit him in the head. It was terrible. I stood there, and I thought I was going to die. I did. I thought I was going to die. And I just looked up at the sky, and I felt thankful that I lived to be 19 years old.
The German soldiers started to surrender, and I had to go up to a building where there were 200 German soldiers, and they all took out their wallets. They showed me their wives, they showed their babies, they showed their kids. They didn't want to fight. They were glad it was over. Sometimes I'd cry.
Rhythm for Adrian was his work. Here is his joy in his work, as told to Aunt Velma, who lived to 101. Even though Adrian lived to just 83, I think he lived more than Aunt Velma.
You should have seen me working today. I went out to Lake Michigan with Bob Anderson. I'm working on a cottage. We went to the lumber company. We lifted heavy timbers together. We lifted cement together. We tied it up on a truck together. We were riding along, jockeying along with all this lumber. We got to the lake. We lifted the lumber off. We carried it downstairs. We laughed and sang and joked. We had a good time. Oh, this is good. Oh, it's good. Blue sky. Say ho 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 the summertime. Ho 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 ho. Ho 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 ho.
Butter.
Beans.
You got this going?
Fresh beans of the earth. Beans of the earth. Smell the earth. Fresh. Oh, let those taste buds come forth.
Adrian, you've overdone. You're getting excited.
I've been through months and months of deprivation. I've eaten saturated fluorescent tomatoes.
Yeah.
I've eaten over-grabbed cabbage.
Yeah, but it'd be better if your stomach you go slower.
Adrian wrote lyrics for Jack's music, and they really worked to find symmetry.
I don't want to hear second-rate piano players or second-rate singers. I'm only interested in hearing the best.
There's too much time in life to go out being totally cynical.
I don't want to listen to a second-rate symphony.
A 5-year-old girl sweetly singing a little song you don't want to hear because it's not perfect.
You're going to way out of perspective.
When the people sunk on the ship and the ship was going down and they sang Abide with Me, that could make you cry even if they were off key.
My dad repeatedly philosophized when he gave me lectures.
You're in the sea. You're in the sea. You just met up with the idea that you're alive. You just were introduced to yourself. You haven't got yourself on yet. You haven't assumed your own self. There's a loneliness in having lots of friends. I don't want you, a finely tuned onion.
Adrian was surprised one Christmas Eve when I told the minister, Dr. Rankin, that my dad had fallen asleep during the sermon. You go all the way down to church, you get all dressed up, organize your whole day, clean socks, brush your teeth and shave, and go down there and sleep. And then, to make it all worse, Ben broadcasts telling the principals there. One year, my dad wrote to me that he had been in a car crash with a teenage girl who legally was at fault and she was injured. No blame to my dad, but he wrote a letter to her parents and went to see her in the hospital.
It was as heavy on his mind as when a customer had sued him for a fallen chimney, my sister's divorce, and my own broken limbs from a mountain climbing accident. That poor girl taught me a lot about what mattered to my dad. After 2 weeks, my dad phoned me to report his relief. The girl was released from the hospital. She was going to be okay, and harmony was restored to my dad's life.
I've known Adrian for years. He designed some of the most beautiful works you've ever seen here.
Adrian designed our deck.
He redesigned the interior of our house.
The design that he did for the chapel inspired me to become an architect.
Our lamps by the driveway are Adrian's lamps. Our chairs are Adrian's chairs.
My dad was my celebrity, but it was not because he designed a big building that I admired him. It was because he prayed 3 times per day. He took his hat off, closed his eyes, and recited an ancient Dutch prayer his mom taught him.
Heere zegen deze spijze uit genade. Amen.
He often read a book at 6 a.m., either the Bible or the church discussion group's book for that month. My dad's prayer was his balance.
Let's hold hands a moment. We don't know everything. We know very little, but we know one thing. We're here together, and we are grateful that we have one another. Amen.